summer is in full swing because of a variety of factors. So, you know, foodborne illness increases in the summertime. Some of those problems, of course, the weather is hotter. You're outside more. My good friends JOAN and Tony from the Texas A&M AGRILIFE Extension in with us today to talk more about ways to make sure your food is safe. Let's talk about how quickly bacteria can grow.
Well, this is a good example of what I call my germ jars. And with some bacteria, it only takes one to make you sick. But we know that bacteria multiplies in warm weather. So this shows that you may have only 4 or 5 bacteria on something, but the longer it sits out, up to 2 hours, that's an example of how fast the bacteria can actually grow.
It's crazy.
And it grows faster the warmer it is.
For sure. Okay, let's talk about things to do before you even start cooking, right? We're talking grocery shopping and things like that.
When we go grocery shopping, a lot of us go up and down all the aisles and we hit the perimeter, but most of our stuff in the perimeter is our cold stuff. So really we want to do the aisles first and then shop the perimeter last.
Okay.
And then we want to get home as quickly as possible. Within 30 minutes is the best thing, and then get our food in the refrigerator. Now, if you're going to be out more than 30 minutes, what we recommend is that you take a cooler with you that's insulated, or use the insulated bags. I actually saw a woman this week grocery shopping, and she's putting the food and she's pulling it out of the freezer section
and putting it straight in the bag?
Straight in the bag to check out.
Well, for a lot of our friends that live in rural communities, that's something you really have to think about doing, right?
You really do. I grew up in Channing, and growing up in Channing, we always would buy the ice, the dry ice, in order to make it home with our food safely.
Okay, let's talk about transporting our food and things like that. Let's say you're taking it to a picnic.
If we're going to a picnic or we're going to a cookout, we want to do the insulated cooler or we want to do the insulated bags. Never do we want to combine our raw foods, such as our raw hamburger or raw steaks or chicken, with our ready-to-eat food, because we've got that possibility of bacterial transfer. The other thing we want to do is pack that thing full of ice or ice packs and make sure that it's full, because if it's full, it's not going to thaw out as quickly.
I saw that in the notes. The fuller the cooler is, the longer it'll keep the cold.
That's correct.
That's really interesting. I didn't realize that.
It will. And then in addition to that, you want to make sure that you're not leaving it in the sun. So you may have to move it periodically during your cookout.
And don't open and shut it, letting all the cold air out. Okay, let's talk about making sure our hands are clean. You got to tackle that, Tony? Huh? Making sure you're clean and sanitized, everything, right?
Before you you need to wash your hands, your area, and your utensils before you start cooking, to make sure that it doesn't spread germs.
Absolutely. You want to make sure everything's sanitized and things like that too, right?
That's exactly right. And with that, you may want to use a sanitizing solution. So you can mix this up and take it with you. This is a teaspoon of bleach to a quart of water, and then you can take and spray everything down with this and sanitize as you go. The other thing you want to do is, if there is not running water wherever you're going, you want to make sure that you take water with you so that you can wash your hands.
You can wash your hands and utensils.
Makes sense. Makes lots of sense. Okay, really quickly, I want to talk about food temperatures. What do we need to be cooking our meat to?
Well, what we want to do is make sure that we're using a thermometer, make sure that we're getting it to the appropriate internal temperature. And when we're looking at our chops and our roasts and such, we can do that to 145. With our ground meats, we can do 160. But anything that's poultry, it doesn't matter what shape or form it's in, we need to do 165, and we need to test it with a thermometer to make sure that we're getting it there. Looks alone is not going to tell you whether or not it's safe.
That's where you can really save yourself a lot of sickness and everything.
There you go.
Okay. Guys, thanks for coming by. We've got all this information over on myhighplace.com because there's a lot. JOAN always gives us a lot of great information, so we've got extra stuff for you over there. Stick around, everybody. Before we know it, summer will be over and fall will be here. Football will be on our minds. Of course, up next, how drones are changing the game at Canyon and Randall High School. Good job.